You are tuned into Blue Please here on WoW Radio with myself, Total Biscuit, and WCRadio.com. And if you are an iTunes listener, yes, we have a website. It has many wonderful things, including forums, shows, page downloads, all manner of cool stuff. WCRadio.com is the place that you need to check out. I know a lot of people are very fond of their iTunes and really, really like their iTunes, and to the point where they'll never visit the website. You know what, before iTunes even existed, we had a great website and did all of the podcasting and stuff from there. So, you know, you should go check it out. Have a look. It's very nicely designed. Designed by our very own Cadwallian, very talented man that he is. Now, I've got a little apology, I suppose, to make. And that's that there's not going to be a show next Friday. The reason for that is that I'm going to be at the Bloodstock Metal Festival down in Lichfield. And if any of the rest of you are going, I've had several emails from fans who will be there. And myself and Kiki will be there. Give me an email. Shoot one over. themurloc@gmail.com. That is themurloc@gmail.com. Let me know if you're going to the Bloodstock Festival. If you are, we'll meet up. Waiting for my custom flag. I've actually found stuff to make a 12-foot metal flagpole. And I've ordered a custom 6.5-foot WoW Radio flag, which has got a great design put together by Pride. Got a troll face with 2 Arcanite Reapers crossed behind it. And, of course, the words WoW Radio on it. If you are there, you will see that flag flying in the campsite. You should come and say hello. Come and have a drink with us. It'll be great fun. So yeah, I won't be doing a show then. I will try and get out a podcast of some description, or I will reschedule the show for some time. And I can't do it Monday because I'm still going to be at the Metal Festival. Can't do it Tuesday because I've got a podcast to do there. So it's most likely that we'll have a Wednesday Massacre. Yes, indeed. Blue Please Wednesday Massacre. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll do it then. Yeah, so there you go. We'll make that a date for you. Wednesday, the... what the hell is it? Wednesday, the 19th of August 2009 at the usual time of 8 o'clock BST. That's 3 p.m. Eastern Standard. That will be the Wednesday Blue Please Massacre to replace the show that is not going to be on the Friday. Okay. Now, let's get along, shall we? Because I asked you to send some emails, and you, being the good little soldiers that you are, have obliged. So, I asked you to tell me about your patch 3.2 experiences so far. Because, you know what? I haven't had any. And won't have any until the faction change comes in. You know, it's very tempting to try and go back to the game, but I just can't see myself having any fun until I get into the sort of environment, the sort of mindset that I want to be in. So, let's hear what you have to say. And I've got a number of interesting emails from you. So, we'll talk about that. Patch 3.2, this one comes in from Matthew, and he says this. TB, I'm quite enjoying Patch 3.2 so far, but the best thing in my opinion is the free Tier 9 loot. Is this a troll? I believe that this is one of the best things to happen to raiding, because no longer can anyone claim that their failure is due to lack of gear. And those players like myself who play well but got screwed on gear are no longer at the full mercy of guild loot rules, bad RNG, and lack of drops. Yeah, but the batch changes didn't fix any of those things. Now, I understand the whole, oh yes, if they're fully kitted out in Tier 9, then yeah, they've got no excuse or no one but themselves to blame. Yeah, okay, that's fine, but is it the juice worth the squeeze? I don't believe it is. I also don't believe the whole, oh, we got screwed on RNG, blah, 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 so now we can do this. You could do that anyway. If you're raiding the appropriate level instances, you are getting the badges which allowed you to do that in the first place. Never did you hear on this show any objection whatsoever to offering a full set of Tier 9 for Emblems of Triumph. No, what you heard an objection to was giving Emblems of Triumph for a damn heroic daily. That's what you heard the objection to, because people who run heroic dailies, and exclusively heroic dailies, do not deserve Tier 9 for their efforts. No, they deserve what they get from the heroic dailies, which was heroic gear. Not Tier 9 level gear, which is like 4 tiers above what they're supposed to be wearing. Are you nuts? Don't be ridiculous. I have a feeling this was actually just sent in to infuriate me. It's possible. No, I don't agree with that at all. The badge changes suck. We talked about it earlier in the show. The stupid change. Yeah, they said they wanted to move away from the debacle of giving people gear that was vastly above their station. And I was okay with the badges up until now. The badge change system was great. Up until now, the badge system was supposed to help you avoid that bad RNG, avoid being at the full mercy of guild loot rules, avoid the lack of drops, like you just said, help fill in the gaps. So your guild has vast amounts of DKP being spent on the tier 8.5 chest piece. That's okay, because you can earn it by killing enough bosses in there anyway. You got issues with being able to make a belt, you know, the best in slot belt with the orbs. It's okay. Your guild's not giving you orbs. Okay, you can just buy them via using your badges. That was the whole point of the system. It wasn't to give you free epics. It was never to give you free epics. You earned those epics. You know, earning conquest badges before this ridiculous change was done by doing conquest level content. By conquering the content, in fact. By being valorous. By being heroic. And by triumphing over... Oh, I'll stop now, this is terrible. You get the idea. So yeah, you're talking out your arse. Next one. This is from Avitus, and he says this. Hello TB, as a dedicated PvPer since Vanilla WoW. Wow. Have you maybe thought about trying another game? There's loads of really good PvP games. Anyway, yeah, since Vanilla WoW, I'm surprised to see the current state of PvP in Wrath of the Lich King, especially in 3.2. Back in the day, you would actually have to play properly and know your stuff to kill another player. No, that's not true. I used to just spam Flame Strike in AV and get loads of kills. I didn't know anything. And it was indeed possible to take on multiple opponents, including them with healers who countered properly. However, since Wrath of the Lich King, healers are near impossible to counter, especially a healer together with a damage dealer. Well, a healer together with a healer doesn't really work out so well. I shall heal them to death! It'll take me about 5 hours. Start now. Also, since 3.2 with the resilience buff, it's making it even harder to counter and making protection paladins not only viable healers in PvP with infinite mana, RNG mace stun, and silence plus snare shield, but with 34k health and 10k flash of lights. They're probably the most bent class at the moment. Since I thought prop paladins were supposed to tank, not heal, what do you think about Blizzard making all classes capable of doing the same stuff? We're talking about class homogenization. This is not just patch 3.2. This has been happening for ages. Because people don't like having to make choices for some reason. I don't get it. It's like, either that or Blizzard just thinks that they don't like making choices. Like, oh, I chose to be a prot whatever. But I now I want to do this. I want to be effective in damage, and I want to do this, and I want to do this, blah, blah, blah. It's like, so we made prot warriors do effective damage in PvP. And stuff like that. It's like, how does that make any sense? We made prot paladins effective healers in PvP. How does that make any sense? Well, the answer comes in the fact that the mechanics are so bloody simplistic that you just cannot do those kind of things in PvP. The roles in PvP are so small and so restrictive that you've got to let all the classes do everything. It's like every class has to have a crowd control. Every class has got to have an area of effect. Every class has got to have, well, the only thing they can't really do is blink and heal themselves all the time. You've got to actually have someone that's got to heal. But hey, we've expanded that to a bunch of other classes that are able to regenerate health in one way or another. So yeah, that's nothing to do with 3.2, honestly. It's another march in the road towards homogenization, and I can't stand it. And yes, I don't like it when I see yet another patch that does that, but it's not exclusive to patch 3.2. Another email here from Jonathan Spencer. I'd like to share my thoughts on the recent patch. There were a lot of changes to my class. Oh god, we're talking about Death Knights, aren't we? Yeah, so they nerfed Death Knights. Okay. Do you see anyone else crying over the Death Knights? No. I feel for you. Don't get me wrong. I know that it sucks when your class gets nerfed, but really. You know, you got the most overpowered class in the game. It's going to take a couple of hits. Anyway, a bit of information about the XT bug. They actually introduced this at the start of the patch. As far as I'm concerned, this is XT's revenge for all of those nerfs. He was spawning, like, a ridiculous number of scrap bots, and like 50 bomb bots and 15 pummelers. Yes! That's the real XT002! You are not hardcore enough to manage the real XT002! Oh no! That was revealing the revenge of XT002. It's like, let me see if I can give you my best XT002 voice. You have nerfed me far too long! You have made me free epics, but no longer! Oh no! You evil toys! It came from me! Oh no, I will destroy every last one of you! And then I will burn you atop a pyre! That would be nice. I would like to hear that. That would be like the hard mode. It's like, haha! I have tricked you! I am now uber hard! Death! death upon XT002, upon the world! It would be nice, wouldn't it? But no. Apparently, yeah, there was a crazy bug when they released it that was spawning hundreds upon hundreds of ads. That's the real version. Oh, yeah. That's the real version of that fight. That's how it was supposed to be. No, that's been fixed now. That's unfortunate. But yeah, yet another nerf to XT002. They had to buff it first, then they nerfed it straight away. Okay, another email here from Vati, level 80 Mage on RR Inc. Ravenhold EU, he says this. Hey TB, new raid. The normal mode seemed really easy. We got the boss down in a second try, and we were a little down in the dumps. We found gear was better than Ulduar 25 in this dump. Oh well, hopefully they get harder. Well, they do a bit, but not by much. Yes, indeed, the first boss they've released drops better gear than Ulduar 25, and yet is infinitesimally easier. Not one! Not one!
Not one, but two Jormungandr worms!
And basically everyone's got an achievement now. Incidentally, I'm taking full credit for that achievement. I don't care if I came up with it first or not. It's mine! If BRK can get a gun, I want a damn achievement. Now, Conquest badges from Heroics. In theory, I wasn't a big fan of this, so he says. But now it's live, I don't mind it at all. There's a shocker. As long as I know I earned my gear, I don't really mind how other players feel when they get their now out-of-date gear. I think of it more as previous season's PvP gear. The thing is, it's not out of date. That's the thing. It would be out of date if we got a full-sized raid instance that was going to make everything completely obsolete, but we don't, actually. The primary piece of raid content in patch 3.2, can you tell me what it is? I'm just trying to hear you through the internet. Hello? Internet, are you in there? Well, you're going to answer, of course, oh, well, it's the Crusaders Colosseum. Wrong. No, it isn't. The main piece of raid content in patch 3.2 is exactly the same as the main piece of raid content in 3.1. It's Ulduar. Why? Have you been into the Crusaders Colosseum yet? It's 5 minutes! That's all it is, because they only release one boss, and even when you beat all of them, it's like 5 or 6 bosses, and no trash. You're gonna be able to beat this instance in an hour or less. Do not tell me that is the main piece of raid content. It isn't. Ulduar is the main piece of raid content. That means that Ulduar gear is still the standard. That's the standard, that's the par. That's the gear that it was designed to be beaten in. And that's the gear that it has been beaten in completely. So in reality, no, they're not getting outdated gear. It's just that the gear you get from the Colosseum is ahead of its time. And indeed, by the looks of it, you're not even going to need that gear to beat the encounters in there. Which makes very little sense whatsoever. So there's my argument there. Also, Living Bomb. 7.1k DPS in Kolagarn and Mimron. Seed of Corruption can go suck itself. Yes, I enjoy being the vastly overpowered AoE class again. It's always nice. And last but not least, his comments on the Isle of Conquest. One of the best battlegrounds around. It needs a few tweaks. The hangar needs to be in a better place to capture. And maybe lower the damage done by C4ian bombs. Otherwise, pretty solid. Yeah, that was the big feature for the patch to me. I don't know why they hyped up the Colosseum so much when it was obvious to anyone with a blinking brain cell that was going to be the big piece of content. Yeah, I'm okay with them introducing a big piece of good PvP content. I like Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds are good. Good design there. I'm looking forward to some fun. Inevitably, the players are going to be ruining it, just like they did AV. Oh my god, Zerg, Zerg, Zerg. No organization, no command whatsoever, no strategy. Just throw all that out the window because you got people playing WoW. If it was any other game, then maybe... Actually, no, I'm kidding myself. No, if you've ever played Battlefield 2, you'll know for a fact that strategy does not come into it. Quick, guys, rush the glaive. Quick, guys, rush the plane. Same difference. It's so depressing. Now, I'm not going to read that, because that's a wall of text. That's quite silly. Last, but by no means least, from AliOS, or whatever the hell his name is, 80 Prot Warrior on Sentinels US, currently playing in the Isle of Conquest. I haven't been playing much WoW lately, as the only thing for me to do has been to grind rep, or scour for achievements. My raiding guild has been limping for a while, so I haven't been in Ulduar for a month now. When 3.2 hit, I expect myself to be dragged back into WoW, as I'm prone to do every patch. After getting some of the new bells, whistles, and quests out of the way, I found a group to run the heroic and normal versions of the new 5-man. Initially, I was having fun. While I felt the jousting portion was forced on me, yes, more vehicle fights, I like just running in, dealing with interesting boss fights and not having to worry about trash. It felt similar to an old Mega Man game where you fought all the robot bosses in one of the latest stages, and those were one of my favourite things to do. I think anyone would agree that the boss fights are one of, if not the key draws of an instance or raid. After enjoying myself, I immediately got disgusted when I found myself replacing a Nax 25 trinket, the Rune of Repulsion, with a trinket from a normal mode 5-man TOC, called the Black Heart, aiming every scrubby player LFG 24/7 to farm the epics in this new 15-minute instance has made it very difficult for me to give PvE an honest look. It's disgusting and makes my past achievements in Nax and Wrath feel like a joke. Good job, Blizzard. Good job. Yeah, 15-minute instance? Are you kidding? I know it's a novelty instance with the whole, oh, you get to fight Hogger again. Ha ha ha. We are taken in by the smoke and mirrors of this amazing gimmick. No, we aren't. We see it as a really easy instance that gives away way too many epics for way too little effort. Indeed, in fact, that instance symbolised the entire problem with this patch. Effort? No, we subscribe. We don't require that. My name is Total Biscuit. You're listening to Blue Please here on WoW Radio. When we come back, we'll do the illusion of choice and we shall end the show. In the meantime, however, I'm going to play some metal, because everyone loves the metal. And if you don't love the metal, then I would ask you why exactly you're listening to this show. I've got some Equilibrium. It's Prologue, Auf, Erden. Whatever the hell that means.